Again, like to welcome everybody to Common Man Podcast, 30 Braids in 30 Days, where we try to give everybody some type of information to start, complete, finish their day. And today, man, we have a great guest, legendary. But before we start, I want to make sure we tighten up the business. The Barber Studio, 102 North 38th Avenue, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Mr. Benny Chastain, CEO, all that. Uh, Need a cut, man. Heading to the yard, can't get one in your neighborhood. Hit my boy Benny up. He travels. He'll be out here at every home game and on the road. So give him a shout. 601 450 3492. Now that the business is buttoned up, let's get into this here. Special little Zoom, special little pod, man. Uh, really needs no introduction, but we'll introduce him anyway. Mr. Quincy Carter. Mr. Carter, what's going on? How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. I was trying to get my music intro and my crew. Uh, Mr. Carter, that Lil Wayne. Mr. Carter, tell me where
Yeah.
you been. But yeah, I ain't got no crew. It's just me.
Hey,
But anyway, man, just want to say thank you for coming on
hey,
with
that's
us.
that jam there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uh, like I said, man, I just want to say thank you for coming on, hanging out with us for a little while, man. I know you got a lot of things going on, so just kind of get into it and let you get on about your day, brother.
Okay, let's do it.
Born and raised in GA, Georgia boy, huh?
I am. But I will say, I was actually born in Bloomington. I like to say I was born in Chicago because right out the hospital, I went to Chicago. My mom and dad both. My dad grew up on the west side, and my mom grew up in Chicago Heights. But I came to Georgia when I was 3 years old, so I'm an official Georgia boy.
All right. So as I'm looking through, doing just a little bit of research on you, you know what I'm saying? Want to be prepared. Southwest of Cab, huh?
Yep. Right there
Southwest of Cab.
in the heart of Decatur, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy. End up winning a state championship in 1995.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, we got several track state championships. Heck, our girls got about four state championships. So it's a rich tradition over there.
Cool. Um, High school All American USA Today, Georgia High School Player of the Year, uh, over 4,000 yards passing, 37 TDs, over 1,400 rushing yards, 32 TDs. I mean, you were getting busy in high school, eh?
Hey, I was blessed, man. I tell everybody, man, I didn't really start playing quarterback to the eighth grade. But when I went to Southwest DeKalb, man, playing around all the athletes I was around, man, you had to raise your level of play up, man. I actually got the honor of playing with two Olympians, Terrence Trammell and Angelo Taylor. Then you add in Jermaine Stringer and Marco Shepard, rest in heaven to our guy, Felix Lewinsky. And that's only on the offense. Heck, I can go over to the defense. Howard Bartley, Demetrius Lewis. Yeah, we had some dogs, man. So you had to raise your level of play, man. You really did.
Man, that's crazy. And then, from there, you go to UGA, over 6,000 yards passing, 35 TDs, 11 rush TDs. Now, which makes it even crazy. What makes that crazier is that was the time of I formation, split backfield, wasn't no spread offense.
Yeah.
So, man, to put those numbers up, man, I mean uh, that's truly crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, I had the blessings of having Coach Donnan, Jim Donnan, man, as my head coach, and he really believed in me. He gave me a chance to compete against five other quarterbacks, and as a freshman, man, I went in there and hey, took the job and took over the team. As far as being a leader, and everybody followed me. Unfortunately, I got hurt my junior year, so it cut my season kind of short. but man, I put my head down. I really believed in God, and shoot, I went out there every Saturday, man, giving it my all.
So just to rewind a little bit, which was a crazy fact that I found, um, you were that dude on that baseball diamond as well. Uh, you know, which, like I said, the more I kind of looked into it, I'm still trying to figure out how this actually happened. Uh, you signed to go to the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech
Yeah,
to swing the bat, get drafted, go do that, make that dream come true, and then you decide, you know what, I want to play football. So how did we get to UGA when initially it was Georgia Tech?
yeah,
Thinking.
okay, yeah. Coming out of high school, Georgia was on probation. And so I didn't, feel comfortable in how long those sanctions was gonna last. And so I'm a homer, and I had a lot of friends going to Georgia Tech to play baseball with me. I committed early to Georgia Tech so we can get, a lot more guys that come with me to Georgia Tech. And
Ah, okay.
yeah, and honestly, man, at the time it was a great decision, but I couldn't get that baseball itch out of me. And then getting drafted in the second round, I
Mm,
knew I couldn't do both at the same time. My agent was the same agent as Deion Sanders, but I didn't play corner or receiver, so being a quarterback, I had to devote my time to my football team. So at the time, I said, "Hey, let me go try this baseball out. If it don't work, I always got football." And I really love baseball, man, but I couldn't get that football itch up out of me. Um, yeah, and I didn't see the success that I really wanted to being young. And that football itch never left me, man. So I went back to play football at the University of Georgia. Joe Hamilton is the main reason I didn't go to Georgia Tech after
the
a couple of
14.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah, Joe Hamilton was doing his thing down there at Georgia Tech, man. So I respected it and made the best decision for me. And fortunately, we were coming off the probation, so it was a perfect fit. Mike Bobo was leaving, and I had a chance to come in there and start as a freshman.
that is absolutely crazy because Joe Hamilton was, he was doing that thing down there, no
Yes, he
doubt.
was.
Uh,
Yeah.
shout out Joe Hamilton. So was it ever a thought to go to Georgia Tech?
Uh, it was initially, um, but then I had, I was getting older, man. I was 20 years old. I was getting ready to be 20 years old during that freshman year. Um, Georgia Tech was telling me I can come in and try to, win that job, but I'm sitting here looking like, man, it's been 2 years now. Yeah, with him entrenched as the starter, and I just didn't feel good about it, to be honest with you. And so, man, I rested my hat, man, on going in and winning a job at Georgia.
So was Georgia the only place that you were thinking about, that you thought
Florida,
about?
yeah, Florida State was in the fold, but then I had all my boys, Jonas Jennings, Thad Parker, Arantez Grant, some, Metro Atlanta guys.
Yeah,
And so I never got the opportunity to even go visit Florida State because once I started going down to the games at Georgia, it just felt right. And I was one of those guys, man. If something feels good, situation is there for me. I'm a Georgia boy. Everybody's excited about me. Shoot, man, let's go ahead and go with this thing. It's almost like trying to check out, you got a great girlfriend, but then you want to go out on a date with somebody else,
just to
you
see.
know. Yeah, just to see. And I just wasn't that guy, man. I really was.
So uh, you say you couldn't get rid of the itch, but you had pretty good baseball numbers. Looking through those, but we'll push through. But second round, I know that as they say today, I know that bag had to be nice. We're not talking the 52nd round. You were drafted the second round,
Yeah,
uh, which meant they were gonna keep you around for a long time. Had you wanted to stay around for a long time,
yeah,
investing that kind of pick in you. So we're gonna fast forward through Georgia. Uh, One other thing about the Georgia situation. At the time, you were probably, if I'm not mistaken, the way I looked at it, you were the first African American quarterback to play at UGA, right? To start.
Not the first. James Jackson, all
Okay.
due respect to him, back, what was it, 1980 with Herschel. Well, I think it was right after Herschel. But anyway, he was actually the first. James Jackson was the first. But I was the first freshman to start since 1945. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so that was quite an honor, man. But no, I got to give my respects to my guy James Jackson, man.
Okay. So you were the second in UGA. Yeah, okay. But
Yeah,
you were the first to start. Okay. So
yeah.
that's how I read. Okay. When I went
Mm-hmm.
and looked at it. Okay. So that makes sense. So as we're speeding through and we're trying to, navigate the football side of it, um, and what you're doing, then you get to the draft situation, and now we're talking Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that had to have been crazy.
It was. At the time, man, I tell people this, and I really mean it to the bottom of my heart. I know what the Cowboys organization means, uh, as a whole totality to the world and everything else. But at the time, I'll be honest with you, man, um, I didn't care who drafted me. I broke my thumb. People, were saying I can't play, in the National Football League. So I came in with that chip on my shoulder. So it was definitely a blessing. I don't want to dismiss that. All due respect, the Cowboy Nation. But man, I had a chip on my shoulder, man, that I, wanted to go out and prove that I can play in the National Football League.
So that was on your throwing hand.
Yep, it was on my throwing hand. Absolutely.
So I'm sure that got dissected through that whole process over and over and over, because
It did.
that's a main thing for QB. And then now we're talking about, again, not to harp on it, but now we're talking about America's team. Um, and I say that, uh, I'm a Commanders, Redskin, Washington football team fan. I always have been.
I'm
Uh,
sorry to hear that.
I came when Doug came. I should have left when Doug left, but they just keep holding me hostage, man. I can't become a free agent. It is what it is. But
Yeah.
America's team, and now not only are you coming in there, but you're coming in there as uh, a few years older than your draft class,
Mm-hmm.
other guys, but you are now African American who could possibly be put in charge of America's team. Was there any pressure on your shoulders? Did you ever think about that?
You know something? I really, looking back hindsight, I really like to say that it wasn't, and I really mean that because of my mindset, um, and the way um, I went about my business. I wanted to prove so bad that I was, a quarterback that can play in the National Football League, no matter what. Um, I really didn't start to feel that really until my third year when we started winning and we went to the playoffs. That's when I really got the conception of what really position I was in. And consequently, I added some things in my life that weren't healthy for me, smoking marijuana, and I fed off that, man. And for a while, um, it was useful. It wasn't useful in a positive light, but in some kind of way, it was useful for me to take that edge off. So that's what I can contribute. I can look back hindsight and say that's how I was taking my edge off, and consequently, man, it ended up coming back to bite me in my butt. I failed the test to get into the drug program my second year, and then my third year after the season, heading into training camp, I could say right now that maybe I was feeling that pressure a little bit because here I am. I went back to it, and then ended up failing another test to put myself in the 4 game final stage, and then they cut me, and then I went up to the Jets or what have you from there. So we can kind of say that I substituted, that feeling of anxiety or pressure or what have you, and sneaking behind closed doors, doing some things that wasn't godly, and eventually it cost me my job, man.
So now that we've kind of touched into that, uh, was that ever a go to? I shouldn't say go to. Was that ever a release at UGA, or was that something that you just kind of, you know, peer pressure, whatever? You hear all the stories about the
Yeah,
Cowboys back in the day, the White House, all that kind of
yeah.
stuff. Um, is that something that you had done before in the cab, or was this something that just became a new thing for you at this point?
No, I tinkered around with it in high school, but I would always, a weekend thing or whatever, we just having fun, but then we'll put it away. Where it really became a part of my life was when I was playing baseball. I was away for the first time, away from mama. I'm growing up, trying to be a man, paying bills. Did I make the right decision? And so that's when it really started to become evident in my life. Then in Georgia, it was sporadically, but it was always like when we would lose a game or something like that, to take that edge off, feeling that pressure of everything going around me with being at Georgia and all the magnifications, that impact that had on me psychologically. So, so it was always a thing that I could go to. Consequently, I never put that habit down. And then after I got cut, man, for anybody out here who thinking that marijuana ain't the gateway, then after I got cut, now I'm messing around with X pills. I'm heavily
Right.
drinking. I can't get back into the league, and then here I am years later. Now I get a PhD in cocaine, and so for people out there who don't think marijuana is the gateway, you're mistakenly miscalculating this thing, man. And then when life hit me, coach, I didn't know what to do, and so that weed wasn't good enough no more. You know what I mean? It couldn't take the pain away of what damage I had caused in my life and what damage I had caused in my family's life and everybody around me, man. So consequently, coach, I started a habit that I couldn't stop, and that thing took off and elevated on me. Yeah,
So that was part of the message that I was trying to get to. Um, and you train kids now, and I'm around kids, and it's become a situation of where that has become the cool thing to do. Um,
yeah,
when we were growing up, we always heard that that was the gateway to something else. Now, rather we believe it or not, I'd say
yeah,
no. Uh, you
yeah,
know, I had partners back in Florida where I grew up that did it. You know, spark up before a game. Uh, and now
mm,
I can't even imagine how they went out there and played after smoking. You know,
yeah,
that just makes sense to me. But um, so for you to say that it started there, and then you can kind of pinpoint to where, okay, this ain't working no more, or it's not taking it off the way I needed to be taken off, uh, and then you deciding to make that leap. Can you point back to that first time to where you were like, oh well, let me try this?
yep. No, yeah, it was me and the boys. Um, we would decided we was gonna have this little drinkathon and was drinking a bunch of 40s. We don't even know the kids don't even know what 40s is these days.
St. Ives.
Yeah, but I down one and was feeling woozy, and so we having this little contest like little idiots. So I get about a quarter into the second one, I started throwing up everywhere. Well, we had brought some weed with us too. And so we rolled up and started smoking. And that feeling right there, because it took the drunk away, you know what I mean? And that feeling right there, dude, I chased, all right. Hell, I can say up until about 3 years ago, because after I got done playing the NFL, it was just an up and down. I got a couple chances back in 2008. Heck, my guy Bill Parcells called me back down to Miami, the same guy that cut me, to work out, and worked out, had a great workout, but I didn't believe I had another chance. I had started back smoking, and so I failed a physical, to even give myself a chance. So
Right.
now I'm just hitting this roller coaster,
Right.
going to rehab, not surrendering to the program and surrendering to God. And I never really got it, man. So I get 7, 8 months here, then fall off. 8, 9 months here, then fall off. 4 months here, then fall off, because I never surrendered to this thing. And I had an issue way back in, hell, I would say 97, the way I was smoking and playing baseball. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I had issues then. When I'll never forget, it was 4-0 my freshman year. I chilled off smoking and everything else. We get our butts beat down down in Georgia, 22-3 from Tennessee. Next thing you know, that same feeling that was I thought was doing me some justice. What you think I ran to? Boom.
Straight.
Yep, ran back to smoking. So and then eventually, man, it wasn't good enough no more. So man, I tell guys all the time, man, you boys playing with a dangerous game. And then, just ask yourself, what is it doing for you? You know what I mean? How is it really helping you? I'm sitting here thinking, and God blessing me with all this talent, and I'm sitting here thinking I can go out and smoke during the week or what have you, ill prepared. Because I wasn't the smoke before the game guy. You know what I mean? I didn't do all that. I respected the game. Well, no, I didn't respect the game. I'd be trying to give myself credit. No, I wasn't, because if I really respected the game, I wouldn't been doing none of that anyway. But anyway, so you trying to go out and prepare and want to be great, but then you add these bad things in your life. Make it make sense. You know what I mean? I'm that example, man. And God, thank God for it every day, for me being able to, say these words to people, man. I had the blessings that anybody would ever want, and then I wanted to add something in my life that was ungodly, and then want to go blame somebody else because maybe the Cowboys didn't, they weren't supposed to cut me or this and that. Yeah, technically they wasn't, but I put myself in harm's way for somebody to be able to act on it,
Right.
So how's it helping you?
Right.
Is what I be trying to harp home, man, with these guys, man. How is this helping you?
Right. So uh, again, in researching you and wanting to be prepared, to talk to you to get the message. Um, I saw there were dips into the CFL,
Yep.
the Arena League. Um, did it continue to show up in those aspects of your life as well once you got to those places?
Absolutely, because they don't have drug testing. So it's a match made in heaven. But then your game, if you're an addict like myself, and that's where it took me to, and I'll be the first one to tell you, yeah. Now I'm playing a game, that they don't care about, the drug policy. But here's the catch 22: the cream will always rise to the top. I don't care what league you in. So I'm thinking I'm so good that I can really implement these things in my life before games and stuff like that. And just my game never really materialized. And then ultimately, man, I was never giving myself a shot to make it back to the show, you know? So
Right.
yeah, so that thing just kept sliding downhill, but I couldn't see it because I'm adding all these substances in my mind and in my brain and body that ain't even helping me. But now I'm so deep in it that I can't even see it.
So I know you say because of the drop from the league to the CFL to the Arena League, you felt like C17, I could handle these places.
Yep.
because I've been to this place, you
Yep.
know. So that was the mindset with that. If I'm reading you correctly and what you're saying.
Yeah. And just ignorance. I don't even think ignorancy is a word, just ignorance. You know what I mean? And it was, man, it was just ignorant thinking that I can really go out here and perform like I really want to and be adding these things in my life, man. It was just bad. But now the whole jits of the whole my whole thinking, you know, to be honest with you, man, I was trying to take the pain away of what I had done to myself and why I'm even playing in the CFL, why I'm even playing in arena football. I'm trying to take the pain away, you know, at the same time. Yeah. And then it's not, you know, being the best that I can be, you know, aspect of it too. But the number one factor is I'm trying to take the pain away of me even playing in arena ball because I know, you know, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And these things happen. Yeah.
So as we kind of get close to wrap it up, get ready to let you go. Um, the circle, the crew aspect.
Yep.
Was it was that part of it uh, in your starting? Because like I said, you were drafted early on, second round, big bag.
Yep.
So the initial crew that was bobbing through the halls at Southwest Cab, did that change? And then once I got to that baseball money, now those guys no longer there. Now I got a new circle, or how did all that play into it?
No, the circle kind of still stayed the same. All right. I didn't have the circle around me to tell me, hey, bro, all right, you shouldn't be doing this. All right. Because now my friends are attached to me through marijuana and some of the things we're doing. So they don't want to let that aspect go because now if I really figure out that, hey man, these people ain't good around me, they ain't really telling me, hey, you should be smoking. You're the breadwinner. This how we gonna get there, and we gonna go with you too. But I had yes men around me, and I love my boys, you know, to death. And they'll tell you. But when you have those yes men around you, you know, I still had the same boys around me. But hey, wasn't nobody telling me, hey Q, you know, you need to chill out. And then if they were telling me, they would say something, but then we're still smoking together
Do the
anyway.
same thing.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, you
It wasn't
know,
adding up.
yeah, and they could put it down, you know, eventually. Eventually, I'm the one who couldn't put it down. And then consequently, you know, I suffered the most by losing my job. Yeah.
Right, right. So, uh, as we start to wrap it up, um, first, before I get sidetracked, I'm gonna need you to send me one of those C-17s. I'm
I
digging that.
got you.
I'm
I
digging
got
that.
you.
Uh, but if you had a chance to stand, because you've been swinging that sobriety belt bat for 3 years and
Yep.
some change, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Um, 3 years sober, and that's to be commended. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you, man.
Um, reading on that stuff, and it's hard, and it's a battle every day. Uh, my uncle was his drink of choice was that straight bumpy face. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And eventually, he rest in peace, passed. So liver. Uh,
Mm.
and it wasn't no cutting it. My uncle could do that thing straight out the bottle. I'm
Mm.
talking about fifth. It didn't matter. Uh, I know it's a battle. That you wake up every morning and you swinging that bat. If you had the opportunity to stand in front of an auditorium full of guys uh, who we know um, has started with just the light, because right now it's the popular thing to do. Uh,
Mm.
it's legal in some states. Not knocking it. Whatever you do is what you do. But it's not the same stuff when we were coming through. This stuff's
Thank
manufactured
you.
now. You know what I mean?
You talking.
Uh,
Now you talking.
so it is, as we were told coming up, non-addictive. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we were told growing up.
Yep.
Uh, right now, I truly believe that it is just as addictive as cigarettes. Um, so if I put the mic in front of C-17 and said, "Hey, man, what would be your, give these guys a message as they get ready to head out to these different locker rooms, football, basketball, baseball, whatever it is they do, life. What would be that message from C17?
Man, don't start something that you can't quit. And first of all, and alluding to what you just said too, you are smoking chemicals. They are putting this stuff in labs, and you're smoking chemicals. They're saying marijuana is legal, all right. But what job can you get and be smoking marijuana, and you got to go pass a drug test? What job can you get? It's not one. It's not one job that you got on your goal list right now that you can be smoking weed and actually be on that job. It's not one. And it's more addictive. You just said it, Coach. It's more addictive. It's legal now. So they gotta sell it. So they're gonna make it more addictive. And then when you give up the dreams that you always have worked your butt off of, you give up them dreams. Somebody finally sit you down. You didn't fail the test, whatever the scenario is, and now you got to face the consequences of your actions. That weed ain't gonna be good enough now. Simply put, Coach.
And there it is. So we have a couple things, man, that we do before we get out of here. Just a couple questions, see where C17 is, you know what I mean? So it's a like dislike type situation. So for you, we'll start out this way. Color scheme, blue and orange, red and black.
Blue and gold.
Southwest Cab.
That's my high school code. Blue and
Southwest
gold.
Cab.
Yep. Blue and gold.
Whopper Big Mac, where we at?
Big Mac, but you got to throw the top bun off, flip it over like a sourdough. That third piece of bread, just throw that away, flip it over like a sourdough.
That might be the first. That might be the first I've ever heard of that setup right there.
Yeah.
So we talking lobster, crab.
Man, I'm allergic to seafood. That's crazy. So, but I can't eat catfish though. Yeah.
More for me. Oh, perfect. You from Georgia? You know what I mean? I get in this battle all the time. Spaghetti by itself, spaghetti and meatballs by itself, spaghetti, meatballs, catfish.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Spaghetti, meatballs, catfish, dog. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, that's the wrong
Yeah,
answer,
dog.
man. Spaghetti and
Yeah.
meatballs by itself is its own meal, man. You don't need the fish.
Hey man, spaghetti, meatballs, and some. Hey, and got put a little bit more protein on there. And throw some catfish on there. Heck yeah.
Come on, man. Hey, but we appreciate the time, brother. Again, man, thank you. Man, I never thought I'd be excited to talk to a Dallas Cowboy. You know, was the saying
Got you.
there? 8-8, we great. Was that a saying for y'all? Because that's a
Wow,
no.
wow. We're
Okay,
going there, huh? We're
okay.
going there.
We're gonna leave that alone.
When you trying to figure out nicknames, you trying to figure out your mascot, and then you worrying about a record.
Hey
Really?
man, hey man, I'm gonna text you my address, man, so I can get down on team C17, man, before you
I
start
got you.
this with this cowboy stuff, man. Because
I
this y'all,
got you.
I know, I get it.
I'm
It's
gonna send you a blue and gray one. Matter of fact, I got a blue and gray one around here. I'm gonna send
I'm
you.
trying, I want to wear it. You know what I'm saying? But you said to me blue and gray. Come on now. Hey man, I appreciate you, man. Before we get out, really, how can people follow you, catch up with you?
uh the best way, I got those social media things, but they're all on my website, and it's quincycarter17.com. That's quincycarter17.com, and then all my social media handles are on that website there, quincycarter17.com.
Appreciate you, brother. One of the quickest releases I've ever seen, man. That back foot hit that thing up out of there.
Oh, that's love, man. I
He
appreciate you,
getting
man.
rid of that thing, you know. So
That's love, dog.
again, man, appreciate you, brother. I'll be in touch, let you know when and where we dropping it. And again, man, salute. Keep swinging that bat, bro.
Hey, salute, coach. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Much love and respect, dog.
Thank you.